What's good, guys? You know who it is, Sandman. So, I gotta get rid of this damn sound. Shit. Oh my god, I don't even care. I don't care. I don't care. I really don't give a shit about any of this. Sorry, guys, I didn't know it was gonna give me a bunch of that garbage. So, let me turn this stupid ass volume down. I have just finished the actual campaign. All the way through the beat the monitor, if you want to call it beating him. There's I don't even know where to begin, man. Like, whatever the 10 gig patch that they just released did, it fucked everything up again. I've been kicked like 3-4 times just today. It actually shut my PlayStation completely down earlier. Just like there was like I thought I heard a pop, and then my PlayStation just shut off and wouldn't come back on for like 30 seconds, and all of a sudden it came back up. I don't know what they did in that 10 gig patch, but we went backwards. I don't even care about that. I just finished the main campaign. Let me give you the first thing I noticed, and this is game breaking. There's no reason for an end game. I'm only level 18. I'm barely even past halfway to max level. And it wants me to go out and face all these challenges and all this kind of shit now, I guess, to get to max level. I have no interest in doing it, because now I see what the upper level enemies actually fight like. It's fucking ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous, and it makes no sense. So, let me just give you what happened with the boss. So, we're fighting the boss. People are dying left and right. You can't get them back up. I don't know if that's glitched or it's supposed to be that way. Fuck if I know. We ended up tanking on the boss like 3 times. Only playing on hard, or on normal. Not even playing on hard. But the boss is just like every other boss you face in the end of the story. They're all the exact same. You're literally just pounding on this giant monster who's throwing these waves of shit at you and these little things that explode. The waves, you go to jump them, but they're not timed like the same in between each other, and so you'll jump up in the air to avoid one, but then you get hit with the top one. Or you're ducking under the top one, and by the time the game realizes that you're jumping again, you either jump into the top one or the next one hits you. It's all retarded. It also has these little, almost every boss has these little spheres that he'll launch at you. Number one, you can barely even see him coming. You have to take your focus off him and start looking around to watch for these things. You go to dodge them, you think you dodged them, but somehow you're still on fire. None of it makes sense. It's like none of your skill actually will matter in this game. None of your like, oh, well, you know, I know when to dodge and all this. Weapons. I picked Ranger. I went all the way through this campaign with the Ranger because I wanted my weapons to matter. Everything said that the Ranger was the one with the weapons. Weapons don't fucking do anything to the in-game bosses. Grenades don't do anything to the in-game bosses. My missiles don't do anything to... Even my special didn't even take like a centimeter of his health. It didn't do anything. None of that mattered anyways, because we got him like halfway down on his health, and then all of a sudden his health just like dropped. It just dropped. Nobody was like really doing... We were all pounding on him. Nobody was doing anything different. And literally his health just like dropped down to about 20%. And then a cutscene kicked in. And it's like, yay, we won. I don't know what the fuck we did. I don't feel like we accomplished anything. I don't feel like any of this took any skill. I got fooled. I just gotta say it. Like, I got fooled because playing in the open world in the beginning of the game, you feel like this tough-ass little Iron Man dude is flying around and blowing shit up, and things seem to be scaled about right, and your shields sort of work, kind of, some of the time. Like, sometimes they come right back. Sometimes it's like 10 seconds before they start coming back. You can't depend on anything. Half the time, my bullets, I started noticing, especially when there's a lot of stuff going on, they don't even hit. Like, I'm sitting there shooting the thing, and it's just 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 on base enemies with no shields. Like, what the fuck? The bosses, every boss is the same. Shoot them in the fucking hands. Shoot them in the fucking hands. Headshots do nothing. I don't get it. I do not get it. There's whatever they thought they were doing here, you failed horribly. You failed horribly, EA. And I was really trying to give this game a chance. I destroyed the demo, and I put out a review. I've actually deleted my review because I put out this review after about 10 hours in the game of like, hey, what's everybody bitching about? Cutscenes and getting kicked and all this kind of stuff. Like, what are y'all griping about? None of this is a problem. Yeah, I was wrong. I was completely wrong. Play through to the end, and you're going to see. Like, it's just garbage. You can tell this game was not very well put together at all. The boss fights just seem like they just kind of threw it all in. Like, here's a big guy, shoot him and shoot him and shoot him until you realize you're just not doing any damage. I feel like we could have just stood there and waited whatever the time limit is, and then the boss would have just tanked himself. That's what it felt like. I don't... There's no point in grinding your gear out to do that. There's just no point. Like, I don't know what they thought they were creating here, but my God. Like, how can you have a endgame, an end of campaign, where you don't even actually kill the final boss? You never actually see him dead. It's just like all of a sudden there's a strider that like falls into the area, and it was such a quick cutscene the way it like went straight from the boss fight to suddenly there was this big robot, and it was like I don't even really know what happened. I have no idea. I guess maybe it landed on the monitor. I don't know. But that in and of itself is fucking retarded. It makes no sense. So the monitor's standing at this giant machine, I guess the Anthem or whatever. I'm still very confused about that. And you walk up and you push him over and it turns out it's not him, it's just his fucking armor. And then this giant beast comes out and it's supposed to be the monitor, who I guess is transformed into some giant beast. Like, what the fuck? It just makes no sense when everything about the Anthem starts talking about, if you follow the storyline, is talking about like it multiplies things and like it transforms reality and shit like this. It just doesn't make any sense. And then, like I said, you do all that work to get him down. Literally, it was like a, I don't know, like a 20-minute fight to take him down with like 2 or 3 deaths, where the whole team tanked. And you don't even kill him all the way, which doesn't matter because, like I said, I wasn't doing any damage anyways. And this isn't a review. I'm not going to sit here and try to hit every detail. This is just me, like, I'm venting now because I can't believe... I fucking tried to stand behind this game. I tried not to listen to the haters and all the people saying this game's garbage and all this shit. I'm sorry, but this is garbage. This is absolute garbage. That's really all you can say. This game is garbage. It's released completely unfinished, untested. Since they released the 10 gig patch, like, I have characters just zipping across my screen while I'm walking around the base and shit. Like, it's glitching out constantly. You can tell when you're looking around, like, your look will just freeze for a second and then suddenly take off and shit. I don't know what they did, but they screwed it up worse than it was. But I don't think that really mattered because, like I said, all the in-game bosses are all exactly the same. And none of them take any damage. You're just beating on them and beating on them and beating on them, your whole team, and they're just like their health bar's not moving at all, and then suddenly it'll just drop. And like, I was sitting here like, I know the other guys were thinking the same thing, like, what the fuck just happened? We had guys like wanting to give up in the middle of it. You could tell they just stopped moving. Like, they're just like, oh, you gotta be kidding. Like, forget it. It was just stupid. It was just stupid. It was like it just damaged me over and over again for no reason. Nothing I could have avoided. And like, part of the final boss fight, you gotta shoot these little round balls before they explode, because they'll explode on you. And I get it, it's supposed to like put another dynamic into the boss fight. But you can't do enough damage to them to blow them up before they blow you up. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. I don't know. I don't think... It's been a long time since I played a game through this far, got to the end, and was this disappointing. And to make it even worse, fucking BioWare, you reusing bitches. You reusing bitches. In the very end, you meet this commander, this general or whatever, and he shows you one of the bad guys from fucking Andromeda. I'm guessing that's what the first DLC is going to be, is the bad guys from Andromeda, because he's like, oh, look what we found. And he pulls this blanket back, and it's one of those guys with the fucking big-ass, the aliens with the big-ass heads. And I was just sitting there like, are you serious right now? Like, you're going to reuse that content? And it's like, yeah, you probably heard of these before. Well, yeah, I played a whole fucking game against them already. I don't want to do it again. Who the fuck signed off on this, man? This isn't a I hate EA or any of that stuff. This isn't I just want to trash on this game. I literally, you saw my screen, I just finished the main campaign and I am completely disappointed. Completely. And it's not even the way it ended. It's just after all that work. I mean, this was like 20 plus hours of gameplay. Number one, I finished everything at level 18, which is nuts. Actually, I was level 17. I leveled up. So at level 17, I finished the whole fucking game. All the main story. And it didn't matter anyways because I did no damage to the boss. I ended up just running. That's what this entire game is. When you get in the end game, it's like you unleash your powers. You kind of forget about your guns because they don't do anything except for against like very small little red enemies. And then it's just hit and run, hit and run, hit and run. Go get your buddy up. Hit and run, hit and run. All your mechanics, none of them really work. Your shield, it's hilarious when you get into the end game. The ranger, has the bulwark or whatever, so like the shield, he can just pop out. Every single boss we fought, every single one of them, as soon as I would pop my shield, there'd be this little ball of exploding thing that just pop up in the middle of my shield and destroy it. It made it completely useless. I actually stopped using it to go get guys up because it was hurting more than it was helping. I don't even know what else to say. Like this game is garbage. The YouTubers who were hating on it and saying, "Yep, we see this coming." I tried to disagree with them. I tried to take a different perspective and think, it's just been released and 2 fucking patches, 15 gigs worth of patches. The first one was like around 5, the second one was 10 gigs. That's half a fucking game. And it's just horrible. It's just horrible. How do you release a 10 gig patch and go backwards? How does that even make sense? I don't know what they were trying to do here, but this is a total and complete failure. And the fact that, here's the thing, it's not like, oh, there's a few glitchy things so it can be fixed. The boss fight's over. That's it. There's nothing, there's no reason to keep playing this game. That's the fucking boss fight? Are you serious? Oh my god. I'm really glad that I didn't actually talk anybody into playing this game. I really am. I was talking to a few of my clanmates. One of them had already bought it, and the other one was like, well, I don't know. And I was like, yeah, it's 50-50, dude. And I'm glad I said that, not like, oh, it's really good, dude, you should try it out. Because this is not good. It's not good. The game could have been amazing, but when you put me in a boss fight like that, who gives a fuck? Like, it's just garbage. Not to mention you don't even kill him. And I just, oh my god. None of my shit seems to really do any damage to the upper level enemies. Literally, I felt like the entire time, all I'm doing is flying around, getting other people up, and waiting on the wizard guys to get their supers. Because that's the only thing that seems to really do any damage, is the I forget what they're called, but the wizard, the warlock type class. When he gets his special, that seems to do a lot of damage. That's about it. The Colossus, I can't tell you how many times we had to get the Colossus up. He just kept dying. He was the highest leveled out of us. I think he was level 22. And we just kept having to get him up over and over and over and over again. Because he couldn't move fast enough to get away from the big explodey things. And he's got no way to heal himself because when you're fighting a boss, nothing's dropping health. Even the little creatures it sends at you don't really drop health. Every now and then you'll see a piece of ammo or maybe 1 health on the ground. You're like, oh, let me go grab that. This game is... I'm sorry, I gave it a fair chance. I really did. I even got ahead of myself and released the review saying how good it was and that people were wrong about it. I was fucking wrong, man. I was totally wrong. And EA, BioWare, whatever, you just lost every bit of my confidence. You really did. To drag me through all that garbage... I mean, it really is. After you do it, when I first started, I thought, okay, you go on a mission, you come back, you have a cutscene or whatever, you talk to a few people, you go on another mission. The missions don't seem to last long, but it's moving you through the game. I thought, okay. Nah, you very quickly realize you're just doing that over and over and over and over and over again on these shitty ass missions that are easy as fuck. Puzzles that are just. There's this one puzzle where you gotta turn all these big circles a different color. And so literally for like 10 seconds we were like, what do we do? Like, what color? We don't know. It didn't say anywhere. Like, what do we... And then we just... Somebody happened to look up to the left and we're like, oh, look to the left. And there's just the color it needs to be is right there. It's not even a fucking puzzle. It's just like, look around a little bit. It's like they took a video game company and said, hey, here's some really good graphics. Now, let's let some 5-year-olds create the story. Let's let 5-year-olds create the fucking actual combat. I mean, you can get past a bad story on a looter shooter if the combat is good. The combat is horrible when you start facing stuff that actually matters. You can only go around and shoot rockets at little red guys, little animals and shit, for so long before that becomes insanely boring. So when you start fighting bosses, you realize I can't do any fucking damage. And weapons are useless. Weapons are useless. My guns are like level 22. Doesn't make any sense. I'm only level 18. They do no damage. They do no damage. It's fucking sad. It's really fucking sad. And you could tell they tried to do the combo mechanics. You very quickly will give up on that shit. Unless you got a team that's working with you, every time you matchmake in, it's just with random motherfuckers, and all of them are running different shit. Sometimes they know how to combo, sometimes they don't. The whole thing, it's just ridiculous. It really is just fucking ridiculous. Sorry, I actually had a spider. That was weird. Ugh. Anyway, I'm done. I had to get that out. That was so fucking disappointing. That was so disappointing. There's no fix for this. You can't fix like the actual game story and in-game, like the boss fights, and make them better. Everybody's gonna have already played through it. That's gonna go that far. So we end up just stuck with this. Thank God the DLC's free. I mean, the only reason I'll probably play this game anymore is just to check out the DLC and see if hopefully they did something different. But there's just too much of a gap. You feel completely overpowered in the beginning of the game, and then just like you're worthless in the end. I even tried, like, early, I think it was yesterday, I tried to switch over to a couple of the other builds, the Interceptor and the Wizard guy or whatever. Oh my god. Like, the Wizard, you get hit twice and you're dead. No wonder I'm picking those guys up constantly. They get hit twice and they're fucking dead. Like, that's it. You can't take any damage. I haven't even tried the Interceptor. I don't even want to mess with it. Because it's like, who cares if you're faster? You can't dodge that shit anyways. And so you realize very quickly in the in-game, the Interceptors just go down really fast. The Colossus will go down really fast. I'm actually kind of glad I picked the Ranger because I had enough speed to like get out of some things and still be tanky enough that I could take a bunch of hits. Like, it's just ridiculous. So, I don't know. That's my final thought on this piece of shit. I was wrong. I was 100% wrong. I owe apologies to anybody that I said was wrong. Skill Up. I mentioned Skill Up in my original review, and I owe that dude an apology. He was dead on. He was dead fucking on. It's really sad that you have to play a game that you can't put 10 hours into a game and say, yeah, this is pretty good. Because literally the minute I made that review, everything since then has been horrible. I'm starting to think maybe they went in and just fixed the beginning of the game and didn't give a shit about the end of it. I don't even know what to say. I guess it's back to Destiny. Because this is garbage. I have no interest in playing it anymore. It just doesn't... Nothing about it is driving me to try to get higher leveled or better gear or anything like that. Like, I don't see the point in it. I really don't. Especially not when bosses kill themselves. Like, what the fuck? And it wasn't just the end game. It wasn't just the monitor guy who, like, killed himself. Who, like, was only... He still had 25% of his health left and just suddenly died. It's been every boss we face. We'd get him down like a third of his health down, and then suddenly his health would just drop. And it's like, what the fuck just happened? We don't even know. Nobody has a clue what's going on. The storyline has gaps all over the place. Not to mention, if you're trying to complete the whole game before you fight the monitor, like make that the last part, don't do any of the story missions. Just go through and do all your contracts and all that shit, because the minute Herlock, or whatever the fuck his name is, the whiny bitch, as soon as he gets, like, goes up and he'll stand, there's a part of the game right before the last mission that he stands up next to your frame. You can't get in your frame after that. And it even gives you this little warning, and it's like, if you start this, it will complete the game or whatever, and it'll put you in the end game. But you can't do anything else. It locks you into that situation. It's just, I don't know. Literally, since I made the review, my entire time playing has been like, okay, this is really not good. I was completely wrong. And that's that. I'm going to quit ranting. I just wanted to put it out there. This isn't a rant. I mean, it was a rant, but it's not a rant so much as it's my apology. I was completely fucking wrong about this game. This is garbage. Did you see that? Anybody else see that? Fucking bird just flew down, went across here, and just went down into the ground. Okay. Like, that's the kind of shit that's happening constantly. I don't know. And I swear to God that this open area, the base or whatever, keeps changing. Because it'll tell me to go, like, to see the same dude over and over again, but then it'll take me to different parts, but when I get there, it looks exactly the same. It's just weird. It's really weird. It doesn't really seem... After 20 plus hours of gameplay, I still don't know where anything's at. I have to follow my little markers. And the multiple times it's happened where the markers just didn't show up, I have no fucking clue where to go. Like, you have to go, there's one part, you have to go find Commander Vol or something like that. Literally, I had to restart the game before his fucking marker came out. I had no idea where he was, and he doesn't show up on the map. Like, what the hell, man? Once again, this is like one of those games that just, it was released and it's just, it hasn't been tested, it hasn't been completed, everything is just garbage. Nothing really works right. Its scale is just, it's nuts. Its scaling is all over the place. Like, one minute you feel crazy overpowered, and the next minute you just feel weak as fuck. And I don't know how to tell the difference. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right. It doesn't explain anything to you. It doesn't say, hey, try this. Like, you're sucking. Try this. And then the other thing I noticed, just as a last little thing, so, like, you'd think, okay, well, you play through this stupid-ass story, and finally you're done with it, and then you get to go experience the open world, right? No, not really, because I realized after I spent, like, 6 hours in the open world just running around seeing everything that was at, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Like, every, like, now and then, you'll run into a few enemies. Really, it's just bare as fuck. There's nothing in it. It doesn't look barren. I've heard people say that. Now, I'm not going to fall into that. It has a bunch of cool looking areas, and a lot of them look different, and all, but there's nothing in it. The world's just empty as fuck. And so you're flying around, and then you get like a public event type, mission, out open world mission or whatever. Go try to do it by yourself. Like, I did a couple of those, and it was just like, it was just hit and run, hit and run, hit and run the entire fucking time. It's I don't know. This is not a good game. It's really not. It's got a horrible story, horrible gameplay mechanics, horrible graphics because they constantly glitch out and shit doesn't work right. Horrible weapon systems. I'm using blue level 22 guns that are exactly the same as the weapons I got back at, like, level 1. There's no difference. The only different weapon I've seen was I had a sniper rifle and I was trying to shoot it and I couldn't figure out why it wouldn't shoot. It just clicked a bunch of times. And it turns out it's actually got like an explosive rounds that was insanely overpowered. And I was like, what is this gun even doing? I ended up using that gun from like level 10 all the way through like level 15. It just, everything is all screwed up. It's really screwed up. I seriously, I feel like all EA is doing is they're listening to like YouTubers and shit, and they're saying, oh, load screens. And so they're trying to fix load screens. They got nobody actually testing their game, and as they're playing through, just regularly playing through, writing something down and saying, hey, I was playing through and this happened, I'm playing through and this happened. If they did that, they could fix a lot of this, but that's not what they're doing. Clearly, that is not what they're doing. I think what we might see going on here is the Taken King all over again. Bungie did this with Destiny 2. So Destiny 1 came out, and I wouldn't call it a total failure, but most people that played, vanilla Destiny were pretty let down. Like, what the fuck is this? And then when we got the Taken King, it was like, holy shit. It's like a whole different game. And then shitty DLC after that, because they had already gotten people's money and attention. I think and then they did the exact same thing in Destiny 2. Destiny 2, vanilla Destiny 2 comes out, total garbage. Just like, what the fuck is this? Everybody's done with it in just a few hours, and they're like, okay, it's supposed to be a looter shooter, but there's no reason to keep looting. And then we got, well, I guess first we got Curse of Osiris, and everybody was like, what the fuck? And I think that lost, like, the majority of their players right there. And then after that, we got, Warmind. So, like, instead of, like, releasing the really good DLC and then the crappy ones, they just did it a little bit reverse. They released the crappy vanilla game, a couple crappy DLCs, and then in the end we got, I can't even think of the last DLC or whatever. That gave us Gambit and all that kind of stuff, and it revitalized the game. And it really seems like that's the only way EA could really go with this, is crappy ass beginning game with horrible mechanics, the loot is garbage, like the whole thing. It's just, there's nothing good I can say. And it's crazy because I watched my last review before I deleted it, and I was like, what the fuck was I thinking? None of that. I mean, the only thing that I was right about was load screens. Load screens, although they have gotten longer since the 10 gig patch, they're about twice as long now. They're still about less than a minute. I don't think I've had any that were really over a minute long. I realize now why people were bitching about 30-second to 60-second load screens. It's because you literally, the missions are like 5 seconds long, and then you're stuck in all these load screens. And it's just, I don't know. You could tell they tried to stretch out the boss fight just by making it where you don't do any damage. I don't feel like I did anything. I don't feel like I accomplished anything. I've never beaten a game and at the end of it been like, I really don't even care that I just did that. Usually, you want to feel good about yourself. I just finished this, There's nothing to be confident about here. This is just... I'm so fucking let down, guys. I'm so fucking let down. I really tried to be, supportive of this game. Tried not to just jump on the hate bandwagon. But I'm sorry. This is not good. It's not worth $1. I wouldn't even call this a $15 game. This should have been free. This should have been free. This should have been another Warframe. It should have been a free game. I truly believe that. And that's what I'm going to end it on. There's a reason the DLC's free, I think. I think EA knew that, yeah, this is going to tank. And I think they got too deep into it and had no way to pull out. And so this is what we got stuck with. Because it's not about you and me. It's not about the players. It's about the money. And, yeah. It's just not good at all. I was wrong. I'm sorry. What can I say? I tried. And, yeah, garbage.